Greetings and welcome to MentorMe Memorable Moments. We are so excited to be here. We have an extraordinary program for you tonight. But I want to say hello to 150 nations.
That's correct, in all these 50 United States.
And I am here with my co-host, William Craig III.
So happy to be here with Tracy Everette Duncan, but you can call her Ted.
All right. Well, you know what? This is our social health segment.
Yes.
And we've got you and Dwayne that's going to pop this segment tonight. But we're going to start with Dwayne Ross first with the Chop Chop. And he's brought some guests he's going to introduce you to. Dwayne Ross with the Chop Chop.
This is a kingdom banger. What up? It's the Chop Chop. It's time to bring that weight to the front. It's time to chop it up. Let's get it. For sure, we gon' just call this the Chop Chop. Big up Epiphany. It's the Chop Chop. Let's get it. Chop Chop. Let's go. Hey, what does it take to make you chop chop? Maybe
What's up, Chop Chop Nation? I hope y'all doing all right. I am really doing good. I just flew in from Chicago.
Okay.
And boy, your arms
And my
tired.
arms are tired. No,
All
I just
right.
drove through that DC traffic, man.
Yeah.
It felt like I came from Chicago. But look, today, last time I was with you, we talked about some very difficult things. And we're going to continue that conversation because, the topic we're talking about today is that school to prison pipeline.
Yes.
I got a little teary-eyed. Y'all know I got a little teary-eyed last time I was on there with y'all, right? I was talking about the difference in, what's happening with all of our incarcerated youth. But then we started talking about the women. And I said we got to come back with the women as well because we talked about what's happening with the moms who are now raising their babies behind the wall.
Yes.
Right.
These babies are seeing barbed wire fences every single day.
Wow.
They're seeing their mom have to stand on line to receive certain things every single day. They actually don't get to touch their moms, but only an hour.
Wow.
And they're incarcerated just with the mom.
Sure.
And so I shared a statistic that made me really kind of go a little further with this because it's over a 600% increase in women going to jail and incarcerated in prison since 1971.
Then you say it's like 500,000?
It's 600 and something thousand. So that's it's quite a bit. It's
amazing.
over 500,000. But here's the thing: if you had a company, William, and you're going to talk about business later, right? If you had an $80 billion company,
Yes.
but you had a 60% failure rate,
Wow.
would you stay in business? No. Do you think you could stay in business with your shareholders?
It'd be hard to.
But America is doing that with the prison system.
Uh-oh. Yeah.
See, the prison system is an $80 billion system, y'all.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
And, I had the option to look for a lot of different things, but one of the things I found during my research was UC Irvine in California did this study, and they were talking about the cost of imprisonment. And they talked about women being imprisoned, and they talked about the cost of a young lady who gets picked up for a $20 crime.
Okay.
$20 sex crime.
Okay.
She didn't even commit the act. It was a sting operation.
Gotcha.
$20, and it cost, I had to write it down, $62,000 to support her because she went to jail, and then for her to stay in jail. But here's what it cost even more than that. Because, see, she had a mental illness. We talked a little bit about that, too. She had a run-in with one of the guards. They placed her in the box. And you guys seen TV, right? The hot box. Well, they forgot her in there. They left her in there.
Wow.
She died. Wow. So it cost her life. This is a real person.
All right.
In real time, United States of America. And they incarcerate this young lady. Another young lady, Gina. Cool story for a little bit, and then it has an unhappy ending just as well. She was in she incarcerated for larceny. $3,000 it cost.
Okay.
All right? She goes to jail. The total cost to support her in jail was $87,000 for 3.5 years.
Wow.
3.5 years. I mean, I think you can go to college for at least half of that, right?
You can go to a couple of
A
colleges.
couple of colleges, right? But here's the sad thing. So she was complaining about a headache. They said take ibuprofen. She kept complaining, and she said, my mouth feels kind of weird. They said, you probably got gingivitis. Go brush your teeth. Use more water. She complained for 2.5 months till they finally sent her to the doctor. She had leukemia. She died 36 hours later.
Oh my God.
36 hours later, after 2 months of complaining.
Right.
I see some tears over there.
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, when you were just stating the statistics, first of all, I thought you were going to say a number lower than the $65,000 to keep these young women incarcerated. But I had the opportunity to work with some young people at the Youth Rehabilitation Center, and it's hard because we're in there and I see these smart girls. These girls are talented. And one of the things that I've ran into, like you were talking about, they only get to see their parents for like an hour and so forth. And I remember a time being with some of these young girls, and usually on Saturdays is the time that I go to visit them. And one Saturday, the mother did not show up. They were looking for their family member to show up, and they did not come. And so, these girls are upset, depressed, and, they're already, separated from their families. And I just hear those kind of stories. And, my eyes do get teary-eyed because I walk away from there and I say, what am I to do next?
Exactly.
What can I do next?
What can I do?
Yeah.
And see, we get really excited about our nice cars. We get excited about all these different things. And, I told the story, and I tell this all the time. The school-to-prison pipeline is an attack on young women. Here's the thing. There's these 5 things that they do. They stigmatize them, then they segregate them, take them away. They silence them, and then they suppress them. And then they sentence them. This is a system. Yes, and if you remember, I talked about business systems. He talked about business systems. Any system. Systems work no matter.
Yes.
If you put what you need into the system, you're going to get out what the system produces. If I want to produce a crackhead, I got to put them in a crackish system. If I want to create a scholar, I got to put them in a scholarly system. If I want someone to be conscious of his incarceration, I got to give him something more than the 4 walls, the bricks, and the mortar. I have to give him more or her more. So I don't want to talk about the problem. I really want to talk about the solution.
All right.
All right, next slide, Mike. So, I invited somebody that has a solution on their heart. I invited someone who wants to do something about the suspension rate in schools, okay? Young ladies and young men suspended 6 times more likely as a woman or young woman of color than a white girl in school, okay? So they're talking about the black and brown young males, but look at what's going on. 6 times more for black girls, and these are simple things. She wouldn't pay attention. She wouldn't listen to me. She wouldn't sit in her seat. She wouldn't let me look in her backpack. Next slide. Okay? So our kids are incarcerated more than any other nation in the world. Just as I said, this nation puts more children in jail than any other nation in the world. Next slide. So here's what I did. I had the Yes Summit. You guys remember that,
Yes.
right? And so I invited people to come out, and we wanted to engage in the decision and the process. And you see me talking there, but we talked about this empowerment. And we said, you know what? Juvenile crime is actually down in all areas across the nation. Violent crime is down, assault and battery, all these different things are down, but the statistic is still high. What's the disconnect? So we have to have a way to find a solution. Next slide. So the solution is getting people in the community who are doing real creative things. Next slide, Mike. And making sure that not only are we just talking about it, but we're about it. Because see, beyond the criminal mind is the environment that they live and they dwell in. And if that community can replace some things and change some things, I think the outcome could be different. So I want to introduce you to Mr. Rodriguez. Keep the slide, Mike.
We're going to work you today.
All right. Chairman, President, CEO. He's across the table for me now. Now you can change the slide. So let's talk about this, Ernesto.
Thank you.
You have
Thank you so
solutions.
much. Thank you. First of all, I want to say thank you all for inviting me and my team here. We hope that we can offer some solutions to to your audience. So my name is Ernesto Rodriguez. I started this program called Human Resources Achievement Program about 3 years ago. We took some time to get it up and going. Now we're fully running. We just had a graduation, 13 students, the 21st of this month.
Yes,
So
it was
it was
great.
great. Dwayne, you were there. We attended. Actually, we gave them some gifts as well. So what we're doing is simple. We're not trying to invent something new. There's things that are working already.
Right.
So our approach is into breaking that pipeline from school to prison. It's a three-pronged approach, if I may. So we focus on education,
Right?
all right, where we teach human resources as the foundation. We also teach human resources information system as well. In addition to that, we teach project management. And then there's a whole host of other trainings that we provide through our second E, which is enrichment. So we
Okay.
do education, we do enrichment. In that, we focus on things like financial literacy, and I'll let Kim talk a little about this new initiative we think about doing for the next semester with using art as a way to express
Awesome.
themselves.
Oh, nice.
But you know, those two things are critical for us. You know, our students come out of school. Right? If they don't go to jail, then they get a job. Now they're in these jobs, and a lot of them get terminated because
Right.
they're not sure how to maneuver and
Right.
go past
How
those
to interact.
landmines.
No social
They
skills.
miss that, you know, and obviously the school system is failing us in that respect.
Exactly.
And we see that when they go into the job markets, they often get frustrated and they just quit. And you know, so we spend a lot of time teaching employment law. You know, it's critical for them to understand that. So the last E is employment. You know, we're not getting people jobs. I think that's, you know, I'm not sure if that's the path we want to just start giving jobs. But what we want to do is empower them that they can get any job they want.
Right.
When they walk in the door, they have the, you know, the confidence and the skill set to be able to compete with, you know, the 21st century job market.
Right.
So that's kind of what we're doing. We do this. We run a 90-day program. The first 30 days is about HR. All right, and to get that, the next 30 days is information systems / project management. Then the last 30 days is entrepreneurship that you guys are familiar with, right?
And you talked about how, I want to go back to that enriching and empowerment, because there was a young lady who was going to get fired, but she knew the law.
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
She
One of our
was able to
students.
apply the
Correct.
law. Tell us that
Correct.
real quick.
So one of our students in the program came in, and we began the HR piece with employment law. We talk about the at-will doctrine, where you can be terminated
At-will doctrine, yes, sir.
for anything, no matter what. And there's exceptions to that, you know, and one of it is, you know, implied contract.
Implied
Even though you
contract.
can terminate me anytime
Y'all
you
done heard
want.
that. Implied contract.
Exactly. So you can terminate me if you want for any reason. I get that. But the law says that there's 3 exceptions to that. And I'm just briefly talk about that one in particular. It's about a breach of implied contract. So this young lady took a job at TJ Maxx. And she interviewed. She was being hired as a cashier. She got in the job. They called her back. So on the first day of work, she comes to work. And, you know, they say, you know what, we thought about it over the weekend, and you're awesome. We're going to put you in charge of the 5 registers, and we're going to give you an extra $2 more an hour. So fine. So she's doing that. You know, 2 weeks go past. There's no money.
No change.
That's right.
No change in the
Right.
change.
It's like, you know, now 2 weeks go by, and it's like about a third. You know, this time now it's like a month and a half now.
Working without pay?
Oh, she's getting
Working
paid.
for the same pay, but not the pay that she was.
That she was promised.
Gotcha.
Right. And it
It's an
wasn't
implied
right.
contract.
Right. There's no written contract that I'm going to do this to you, but, you know, she's a supervisor, and she promised this to her. So she asked about it a month and a half later. You know, I've been waiting 3 checks worth of money, and the supervisor kind of got upset and, you know, don't worry me, I'll get to it. I got you. Just, you know, most young people would just, you know, say, the heck with this, I'm gone.
Yeah.
And that's what happens. They're not sure how to navigate those systems.
The systems,
Right.
right.
So she mentioned to the supervisor, you know, I want you to understand that, you know, we do have an implied contract, and I'm expecting to get paid. And the next check she got paid.
So how old was she?
She was 17.
I love it.
Yeah, see,
Yes.
young people empowered. You know, that was the whole thing about the Yes Summit was
Yes.
youth empowerment. Empowered with the right information, with the right tools, and the right
Absolutely.
people around you,
Yes.
with the right environment, you can go so much further. But if
Right.
you don't get those things, those tools, those strategies, then you
Critical.
might just kind of float through. And we don't want our young people floating through. They floated for
Yes.
since 1610 was the first boat
Yep.
that they
Yep.
told us about.
Okay.
They probably had a whole bunch of
That's
boats they ain't
That's
told
right,
us.
yeah.
But you know,
I- you know.
though many floated, many sank.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's what's happening today too.
Absolutely.
Awesome. So you got a couple young people here.
I do. Brought some of my
That's some
students with
twin
me.
towers right here.
Yes, yeah, the 2 J's. Straight ahead is Gerald Shuford, and behind you is Jerome Dockery Wooten.
My man, Mr. Wu.
Hey.
Hello.
Welcome.
So you guys want to share anything about the program success stories or what have you?
It was a good program.
Okay, so you were students in the program?
Yes,
All
ma'am.
right, and you spent the entire, 6-8 weeks in the program? First of
yeah,
all,
3 months.
Why were you wanting to get into this program? What was going on?
Well, for me, I had to take a break from college because I ran out of funds, and I was looking for a job. And my mother actually is friends with Mr. Rodriguez and had heard about the program we were starting. And it's like, I'm looking for a job, having nothing there. It seems supposed to be a free program, learn some skills. Why not? So I went to the info session, learned out about it. I actually did 2 semesters of the HRAP program.
Yes.
Okay.
But something else came out of that program, because we talked about connecting people to other people in the community, right? And you're involved in what type of field?
I like computer science and engineering.
And what happened with the engineering?
I got a mentor, Mr. Charles Acree. He's a engineer.
Oh, yes, the STEM program.
Yes,
He was
STEM
on the
program.
program, yes.
He was a guest.
How about that?
Connections happen.
Yes.
Intern, they run into the hall. I mean, I'm telling you.
Recently, we had the Science and Engineering Festival here in DC, and I just went out of my own time because it's a weekend, had nothing better to do, and I like science and engineering. I'm just walking around, and I bumped into Mr. Charles Acree, and they're like, "Hey, we haven't talked in a while." Chatted up at the museum. I ended up helping him at his booth and had a good time at the Science and Engineering
How
Festival.
about that?
Okay.
Awesome.
Connections.
All right.
And there's more to come. So we're going to be looking for
Oh,
the rest of that
absolutely.
story,
Yeah,
right?
we're going to do some partnering with Charles Lee too.
Awesome.
But your story.
The
Well,
entrepreneur.
well, it started as a program at my recreation center. So a coworker of mine, she was like, "Well, we have this new program coming in, and I would like for you to facilitate it." So I was like, "Oh, okay, I'll give it a try." So, as Mr. Rodriguez is, ever since the first day I met him, quirky. But
Thank you.
as the time went by, I started noticing, I'm like, okay, this program is actually teaching me things that I can use in my day-to-day work life. So I was like, okay. And then the second session came about, and he brought financial literacy, as he said. So I'm like, well, okay, well, now he's teaching me how to make money. Yeah, and I like money. I'm pretty sure everybody here likes money. I'm like, all right. So I stayed, made a few connections where I met Mr. Ross here, Mr. Creed. Okay, so these are power players. And, they have something to teach me, something that I can grow from. So I stayed.
Very
All
cool.
right, and both graduated.
Yeah, and I
Absolutely,
got to
yes.
have him answer this question, because I asked the question, what do you think it is about the street that a brother would choose the street versus the information that you were receiving and getting that can move your life forward?
Good question.
Repeat the question. one more
What do you
time.
think
Okay.
is the attraction to the street versus the information and the life-changing opportunities that you were afforded by making the decision to participate in a program like this?
Okay, 2 things. One, your image. Nobody wants to say, okay, I'm going to get up every day and I'm going to go to work. That's hard. That's hard for any black man to do. Just to say, okay, I'm gonna be a man today.
Wow.
Wow.
I'm gonna be a man today.
Yeah.
Did y'all hear that?
I'm a-
Hashtag, I'm gonna be a man today.
Like that.
You
Go
know, amongst his peers, because that's everything. Amongst his peers, his image.
Okay.
You get called all types of things. You're a square. You're a working man.
Right.
Not them things. They aren't necessarily bad. Well, they aren't bad in any way. But as young black males,
That's
you-
taught to be.
right.
Negative.
You don't know that that's not bad. You just know. All my life is I've been in the streets, or
Right. Okay.
everybody I've known ran the
Ran the
streets.
street.
So I don't have that person that I know that gets up and go to work every day.
Awesome.
Everybody who I knows, they're participating in illegal activity,
Okay.
and that's all I know.
Right.
Okay. So
Okay.
grandpa's doing it, grandma doing it, papa might be doing it, mama might be doing it, my sister might be doing it, everybody
Right.
around me is doing it. So again, that environment, right, it shapes that mindset. So that second thing, what was the second thing? He was so good on the first one, we gonna take that one with for 500. He got deep on that. He was like,
Actually,
no,
it actually covered both of the things
Okay.
were covered. And nobody wants to take that journey.
okay, the journey.
Yeah.
So why did you choose to take the journey and come into the program?
You want the honest story or you?
Yeah, you saw some girl and you was like, oh, I want
Nah.
to. You know how some brothers be, ooh, I'm taking that class. They get an economic class.
That would
like,
be me.
Type in.
Oh yeah, home economics. Wait a minute. I think I'm gonna pass on the basketball. Make some cakes.
But me, I was starting to see a cycle of myself,
Awesome. Awesome.
in and out of jail.
Okay.
You know, running the streets, doing this, doing that, and it just came to a time to where it's like, I can't do this no more. First of all, I'm getting too old. One day I want to have a family. One day I want to have a nice house. One day I want to have a nice car.
Okay.
You know, I don't want to buy these.
Aspirations.
Right. You know,
Dreams.
I know that drugs can get me there, but when they get me there, how long will that last?
That's right.
Exactly.
That's right.
Or if you're on your way there,
What happens?
what will you
in
have to
between?
give up in
Right.
order to get there
And
and stay there?
and saying that, it was like, okay, I got a couple of choices to make here. I can ignore what my mind is telling me and continue about business as usual, or I can capitalize on the opportunity that's granted.
I love that word.
Ooh, hashtag capitalize on the opportunity. We gotta put that one down.
That's a
Capitalize,
word.
Felicia, if you're
That's a
listening.
word.
Capitalize. Write that in the comments somewhere out there. Put whoever listening. You know what? Put it in there.
Right.
Man, that was powerful right there.
How old are you?
I'm 22.
He said he was getting old. Look
Really? How old are you?
I'm 22 also.
All
at this,
right,
22,
okay,
22.
Yeah, our program is for 17 to 24-year-olds.
Okay.
That's great.
But you mentioned something about mentorship. And,
Yes.
and can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so our program, the intent is not just to bring them into the program and then just leave them afterwards. You know, like we did with Jerome, and I'm actually Gerald's mentor. Mr. Acree is Jerome's mentor. The idea is to pair him with someone who's, you know, with the same kind of similar background and necessarily but the same interests.
Right.
You know, he said he wants to be an engineer, and he got some great ideas. I would love to bring him back and talk more about
Oh,
those kind
he's
of things.
coming back, so we're gonna be back
And
again.
Even him and Gerald talking about doing the business together now, which is I'm so excited. We talked about it on the way over here. But the mentorship piece is not just, you know, you mentor them for these 90 days. We want to focus for a 5-year, you know, program.
Okay.
You know, because after they leave us, we don't want them to think that they're on their own. They always can
Right.
always come back, and we keep connections to them via those mentors.
So there was and we're talking about females, right, and keeping them out, and they weren't able to be here. But I want to talk about one of the stories that you also have that's a success story, because there was a young lady who said, "I want to make cupcakes."
Absolutely.
Could you give us
Yes.
some insight on that?
So again, our part of our program is about entrepreneurship. You know, the students in the program itself, they started a teacher business, and in that teacher business, they came up with it and they sold it during the graduation. They made about $500 and some off these idea, and it was just something simple. It says, "I will dream big."
Yep.
It's powerful to me. I love that. But one of the young ladies in the program herself, her name is Taylor. Taylor Thomas. She wants to be a chef. She wants to bake, you know, goods. So we helped her with that. So you know what? Let's come up with a plan for you. So during graduation as well, she baked some cupcakes and sold out. She made about $300. You know, so she's on her way. She's talking about doing that on a regular basis. She's currently a junior in high school.
Right.
But she's already thinking as an entrepreneur now, and that's what we want to, you know, take that and exploit that opportunity for her.
And give her some other things to look to and
Absolutely.
look for, right?
Absolutely.
All right, so listen, y'all, we coming to the close of this session, but I just want to remind you something. See, here's the thing. this program didn't just talk about being a good employee. It didn't talk about having a cool idea for a business. It didn't talk about you should do better in your community. What it did was it said, come here, let me help you. Let me give you some real tools. And then after you start using these tools, I'm going to stay with you and drive you down the street. I'm going to move you down. I'm going to show you how to walk first. Then I'm going to watch you walk. And then I'm going to let you go ahead and walk on your own. And so that is empowerment. When I know now that I have something that I can use to make financial decisions and it's going to help my family. She saw that she can go and do something she really loves, make some cupcakes and sell them if it make $300 in one night, and it was only a couple of hours.
Only a couple hours.
Only a couple of hours. I'm going to
Sold
say that
out.
again. Only a couple of hours.
Sold out.
She sold out. She could have put some more cupcakes and went somewhere else and did another however many she sold and made another $600. So what job is giving you that kind of access? It's not a lot.
Yeah.
Not for the African American female,
$7.50
male,
That's right.
or whoever. You know, so they have to understand economics. They have to, financial literacy. Have to understand connecting to people because people help you connect to other tribes. And with other tribes, now you have systems that you can sell these things in. That's why they was able to sell $500 worth of T-shirts because they connected to groups of people, people that was online with them, wanted to move them. So our young ladies, they need people to come visit them in prison. They need somebody to come see them and give them hope with some words of encouragement. We need you young ladies that are at churches, that are hanging out at the church barbecue, to get out of the barbecue and go to the incarceration places. You know, go to the jails, go to the prisons, write them. Decide to be a pen pal. You can just go on the .com, pen pal somebody in prison and find that. I don't know what it is. Somebody go ahead and put that in the chat box and stuff too. But they need people to bring hope. And to help them maneuver through these systems, because as I said earlier, systems work. That prison pipeline is huge.
So let me say this in wrapping up the segment, because I do want you to close us out,
Sure,
Kimberly.
sure.
You started us.
Sure, no
You
worries.
Shut us up. But when we were talking about mentoring, and you're saying that we need to reach out to the women in the prison as well, we do have somebody on the phone that wants to give you kudos.
Kudos.
So, Felicia, are you there?
I'm here.
All right. You've got about 30 seconds.
Yes. I just want to give an endorsement to Dwayne Ross and his Yes Summit program and Ernesto. Your Human Resource Achievement program was outstanding when I had the opportunity to be there and work with you guys. And basically, I wanted to give a shout out to say, you are people who are fathers to the fatherless, and you're people that can be trusted, and that's very important. And I just love the way you were giving them life skills and information at that conference. And so I'm just hoping that people that are listening will really connect with these two men. And I see my brother Jay in there. Jay, I have not forgotten a promise that I made to you to work with you and some of the young men that you work with. So I will be doing those things. But I just want everybody to know that this is a good group of people to connect to. And, you know, a mother can't teach her son how to be a man. A man has to do that.
Say that again,
Felicia.
Tweet that.
A mother cannot teach her son how to be a man. A man has to do that. And these are men that you can trust. But then when it comes to daughters, a lot of daughters need to be validated, feel safe and loved. And these are men that you can trust around your daughter. So I just have to give a quick shout out, and I will be connecting and doing some more things with this team, and I love you. I could not let this pass and not be a part of this. I love you all very much.
And I must say, Felicia is one of our mentors as well.
Yes, she is. She is.
Awesome.
So Kimberly.
Yeah, you know what? The way I'd like to close out this session is by saying that I think it's important for us to, one, invest in our future, and our future are these young people. Right. One of the things that I will say about HRAP is we do have a three-pronged approach, which is the education, enrichment, and employment. But oftentimes when students come into programs, it's not always about HR, but HR is the hook that we're using. But what we're finding is, like you've even heard from the students, that some of them are interested in different fields, engineering. But the key thing that I think is that we need to invest in them to help them create the experiences that they want to have, also to help them grow and develop. And the last thing is to be able to contribute. And so I would just say that HRAP is doing that in a lot of different ways. And I think the thing that we're going to really focus a lot on is that enrichment piece. So it's not just, a lot of schoolwork and things like that, but how do we keep them engaged? And so that's when he was talking about a little bit about the arts, but we're going to see they're very expressive. Like our young people are expressive and they are talented. And so we want to kind of tap into their narrative.
Okay.
Awesome.
All
I like the way you
right.
said that.
Hashtag
Perfect.
tap into
Yes,
the
I
narrative.
love that.
Okay. All right. So, hey, you're bringing them back.
Yes, I have to.
All
We'll
right.
be back momentarily.
Yes,
No.
yes. So do you want to kind of wrap
So
up?
I want to wrap it up on two statements. Here's the thing, because God gives us all a choice to make. We could choose life, or we could choose death. So you got to look at that path that you've chosen, and decide: is this bringing me life, or is this going to lead me to death? It's your choice. There's nothing happening to you. Everything has already been presented for you. You need to make a choice.
All right.
Choose life.
Choose life.
Choose life.
Hashtag that.
Woo, yeah.
Dream big.
Yes, yes.
Buy a
yes.
T-shirt. No,
This is
I
how you
will
can get in
dream big.
contact with the HRAP
HRAP.
group. And if you have any questions or any concerns, you can, or you want the program in your location, this is how you can reach out to
Yes.
them. So I want to thank
Send
all
money.
of you for, such an exciting first half. And now we're getting ready to get into our second half with William Craig III.
All right.
Let's get it on.
And now it's time for another edition of How to Start Your Very Own Successful Home-Based Business with your business trainer and coach, William Craig III.
And I just want to say I am so excited to come to you with another segment in this series on what makes for good social health. And we talk about it every month. The fact of the matter is, when you've started your own successful home-based business, you just show up differently in the community. You show up differently every time you wake up in the morning because there's a certain amount of self-satisfaction that you have with what you're able to create. And Mike, if you would, we're going to get through these slides really quickly because the clock is against us. But the bottom line to it is that this information is for you. And there are a lot of people that you might say, oh, he or she needs to hear this or see this, but we're going to start with you. So we can get those slides up. We're going to go to the next one. There we are. We got that one.
Okay.
Because here's the thing. The key that we're focusing on is the fact that success leaves clues. All right? Success leaves clues. I heard Ernesto talk about it a little while ago, that you do not have to reinvent the wheel. You can use the things that are already successful, and if you do that, if you model that, guess what? You will be successful too. So let's take the next slide, please, and take a look at what that means for us this week. So when we look at 6- and 7-figure funnels, I'm saying that you can clone what the big boys are doing and legally hack your competition. Legally hack the folks that are out there making 6 figures with their funnels.
Well, I want to know how to do this.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad you asked. You're in the right place at the right
Legally
time.
hack.
Legally
Yes,
hack.
there's a
All right.
legal way to do it.
Next slide, please. So here's what we're going to cover in the brief time that we have. We're going to talk about what a funnel is. We're going to look at funnels from the offline, online, the old versus new. What is hacking? People use the term now. It's become part of our vernacular. But just what does that really mean?
Right.
And then what's the difference between a funnel and a website? And will a funnel actually work for me? A lot of folks are saying, I do something special. I'm different. But will it work for
sorry.
me? That's all right. And then at the very end, if you stay to the end, I'll show you how you can get a free funnel. Next slide, please.
Okay.
So when we look at this, the first question is, what is a funnel? And if this comes to your mind,
Oh, Lord.
when I say funnel, that's wrong. Okay, next slide, please. Go on through, Mike. We're going to roll on through. That's wrong. Next slide, please. Because what a funnel really is Dwayne talked about it earlier, a system.
Yes.
It is a system. And so no matter how you put it, at the end of the day, A funnel says you start with something at the top and you get something else at the end. Now, you may start with hundreds of people and end up with just a few. But at the end of the day, what you end up with are people who are your customers.
That's right.
Your customers then become your clients.
That's right.
And so the funnel is never ending if you do it right. So let's take a look at the offline. Back in the day, you picked up a book, a comic book when I was growing up, and they had an 800 number. Yeah, I'm dating myself, but it's okay, because I look good for my age. All right.
That was you.
Yeah, the comic book. And you call the number, and guess what? They sent you something in the
That's
mail.
right.
Yeah.
And you got that thing in the mail, and you filled it out, and guess what happened? You sent them your money.
That's right.
And that was the offline funnel. Go to the next slide. Then here comes the online method. With the advent of the internet, you go to a website, which takes you to a squeeze page. Why do they call it squeeze page? Because they squeeze information out of you. They get your name, they get your email address, they get your phone number. But guess what happens? Then they take you to a sales page where you buy something.
Yes.
And that's how you do an online funnel. Next slide, please. And so here's the next thing. No matter what you do, it's all a funnel system. Whether you use direct mail, right, back in the day, now it's email. Whether you network, go to these parties and meetings and what have you, now you can do Facebook. You used to watch TV, late night TV,
That's
stay
right.
up all night.
Infomercial.
Infomercial, yes
That's
indeed.
right.
Well, guess what? Now YouTube, and I just found out a couple of weeks ago, Amazon. That's going to be a game changer.
Yes.
And I signed up for it already. But anyway,
We knew you would.
radio has become podcasting.
Yes.
Exactly.
And then you have newspaper, and now people are blogging and vlogging. So we have new ways of reaching people to create funnels, ladies and gentlemen. So whether you're old school, whether you're new school, it doesn't matter. You can use a funnel. Next slide, please. So what is hacking? Dun, 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 dun.
Right,
Is it the stealth?
Black hat.
Is it the black stuff, right? Is
White
it the
hat.
deep, dark, secret stuff?
Red
Right?
hat.
Mr. Robot, right? No. And next slide. That's not what we're talking about. When we talk about hacking, next slide, what we are talking about is, drum roll please, next slide. There we go. One of my at a distance mentors, Russell Brunson, says, what hacking is a system, here's that word again,
Yes.
for mirroring success.
Yes.
All right? A system for mirroring success. It doesn't mean you copy. It doesn't mean you plagiarize. It doesn't mean you steal
Right.
or borrow, as some people like to say. All right?
You
All right?
mirror.
You mirror. And here's
Right.
what I'm gonna show you what that means. Next slide. So there's a website, and if you're taking notes, which I'm surprised if you're not, you're taking notes, you want to write this down. Similarweb.com. Real simple. Similarweb.com. Go back to where you're going. And on that slide, we took a very successful product called VenusFactor.com. And in the slide, it's there. It's very small. But what we're able to see at SimilarWeb.com is the amount of traffic that SimilarWeb, Venus Factor is getting. It tells you the amount of traffic they're getting. It shows you where they're getting their traffic from, and gives you all sorts of statistics that shows you why and how Venus Factor is successful. Now, let me just tell you something about Venus Factor. Venus Factor was the top selling program in a place called ClickBank, and I shared that with you a couple of months ago. Top selling project in ClickBank. They were making literally millions of dollars, wait for it, a day.
Oh my.
A day.
A day, not a year.
Oh my.
Millions of dollars a day. And if you go to SimilarWeb, you can type in any website, any URL, and it will show you how successful they really are. Go back to the next slide, please.
Doesn't it also show you the advertising, where they're advertising?
Let's go back to the next slide, and that's going to answer that question. So here we go. When you look at SimilarWeb, this shows you a copy of the Venus Factor ads. Now, these were specifically Facebook ads that they were using on Facebook. So look at the pictures. This was actual advertising that they were using to get all of this traffic that we just saw, making them millions of dollars every day. All right? So let's go to the next slide. So you say, well, William, how can that help me? I'm so glad you asked. So if you look at the left, that's what we just saw. That's the Venus Factor ad. On the right, we see a mirror of the Venus Factor ad. Now, if you look really closely on the left side there, you can see a picture of a stomach, right? You see the two pictures of the lady with the glasses, and then to the right of that, there's a couple of pictures of stomach. And the next below that, there's a picture of a stomach. So now, here we go. So we took the same concept, didn't steal their stuff, but took that same concept and got a picture of a belly, and then combined, you can't read it on the screen here, but it says a couple of things about foods that kill, foods that get rid of belly fat, foods that help you lose weight. So here we go. We took a combination and created a new headline, 15 foods that kill belly fat. And if you see there on the bottom of that, you see facebook.com/learningpedals. That is an actual ad that mirrors what Venus Factor is doing.
Okay.
Now, folks, I'm telling you here, you don't have to spend thousands of dollars to get people to do research for you. You don't have to spend thousands of dollars to have focus groups. You don't have to spend thousands of dollars to try and figure out what's working.
Right.
You can go to SimilarWeb, find the companies that are in your industry, your market, the thing, the idea that you're trying to launch, and see what's working. Once you find out, then go through their ads.
Wow.
See what ads they're putting out there. See where they're putting those ads. And guess what? Then you can mirror what they're doing. Go ahead and throw that slide back up, please, Mike. So now, remember we talked about the offline method
Right.
and the online method. So here we go. It doesn't matter whether you're going old school or you're going new school. However you're going to do it, you can set up your own funnel and do what?
Get paid.
Get paid. I don't know about you, but I'm not trying to do this just because I have nothing better to do. I'm trying to do this so I can get paid.
Right.
Because when I show up and I got paid, I'm a different fella.
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
I can go in the store and buy me these nice bow ties because I got paid. I go in there with my charm and my good looks, but guess what? If I don't have any money, guess what? I'm going to walk out empty-handed. So I want to get paid. When I get paid, I can do more for my community.
Right.
When I get paid, I can do more for my family.
right.
When I get paid, guess what? I can do more for me.
Yes.
All right, let's go to, I got an amen in the crowd. All right. So what is the difference between a website and a funnel? So glad you asked. Mike, would you please play that short video?
In the past, building sales funnels was difficult. Just think, for most people, if they wanted to sell their products or services online, just to get started, they would need website hosting, a website builder, an email autoresponder, a shopping cart, a membership site software, and a whole bunch more. Plus, even after you have all those systems in place, you still need to hire a designer to actually design the pages and a programmer to get all the pages and systems connected. You see why this can be so overwhelming for most people.
I remember those
Hello?
days.
I'm going to ask, is anybody familiar with that?
Yes.
They say, go out, build a website, right?
Right.
Well, doggone it. If I got to build a website, I got to have all of these
that,
different
that's
things.
right.
And then I got to make them all work together.
That's right.
But guess what? There is a better way.
Okay.
So if you would throw up that next slide, please. Okay, the question is, will a funnel work for your business or idea? And look at that little smiling face. Get ready to get your happy dance on. If you got a happy dance, get ready to do it, because I'm here to tell you that a funnel will work no matter what kind of business or idea you have. Go ahead, Mike. At the end of the day, a funnel will work for you no matter what you're doing. We talked about affiliate marketing.
Right.
We talked about network marketing.
Right.
All right. ClickBank is an example. Because remember, there's no product needed, no website needed, no money needed, no special skills needed, no list needed, no license needed.
Yes.
All right. Next slide, please. But here we go. Remember this slide? We talked about the amount of money that these folks are making.
Yes.
But guess what we can do with this particular product? Yeah, we can go out and become an affiliate for them, but guess what? They get all the leads.
Right.
In other words, they get all of the names and addresses and phone
Right.
numbers. And yes, we get paid, but down the line next month, we can't sell them
Right.
anything
That's
else because
right.
we don't have the list. Next slide, please. But what you can do when you have a funnel is just like when I had DC Community Day. Now you can go to dccommunityday.com, and although the event that we had is over, you see what that says? It says stay tuned for the next opportunity
I love that.
to participate in a DC Community Day event.
Yes.
Click the link below to be notified.
Yes.
So guess what? Now, when I had the event, I created a list. I got the list from the people who came to the site.
Right.
But guess what? If people wander onto this site somehow, I still get to
That's
have a list.
right.
And what is the importance? You're asking me this. What is the importance? Right?
Yes, he is.
Right,
I heard
Jordan.
I
that.
heard it. The importance is that now I know that you're interested in these kinds of events. Now, my good friend Dwayne Ross here decided he wanted to get on board, and look at what he's done.
Get out
He
of
has a
here.
writer's workshop webinar
Love it.
that he has put up a funnel for,
Yes.
and now he can get leads for people who are interested in writing.
Yes.
Yes.
So no matter what it is, whether it's an event, whether it's a product, next slide please, it doesn't matter. A funnel will work for you. Here's one of my other funnels, papermoneysecrets.com. This is where we're teaching people how to become 501c3
Yes.
application consultants.
Sign up for this.
Where you can earn a minimum, did I say minimum? A minimum of $500 a pop
Yes.
by helping people fill out applications. Can you help people fill out applications?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can. Okay, but here we go. Guess what? Now I have a funnel. People who are interested in this kind of information, I now have their name. I have their email address. If I want to get their home address, if I want to get their phone number, it's totally up to me. But because of this, anytime I have the same kind of information, I can now send them stuff and say, hey, you put your hand up about the Paper Money Secrets program. Well, guess what? We got another program
Yes.
coming
Ooh,
out.
I love
Alright?
it.
Would you be interested in that?
Yes.
All right.
Right.
And over and over and over. Next slide, please. And guess what? These people stay on your list until they buy something or die. Remember CraigShoes.com?
Yes,
oh, yeah.
Another one of my sites, huh?
Yes.
Well, guess what? Instead of them just going to my website to find out about buying shoes, I can now get their name and information about if they're coming here to buy shoes. Guess what? They may need some pants to go with those shoes.
That's right.
They may need some socks to go with those shoes.
bow tie.
Most people aren't going to go outside with
custom
just
designed
shoes
t-shirt.
on. Huh? A custom designed T-shirt
Right.
to go with those shoes. Are you seeing what I'm saying here? So at the end of the day, you can throw up a funnel in front of anything and make it work for
Wait,
you.
they weren't here to see that those you created those.
Those
That's
are
right.
throw that fine picture back up there one more time, Mike. These are shoes that I designed.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, I got. Thank you so much. Just go to CraigShoes.com and place your order today. But at the end of the day, there are so many ideas that I know that you guys have, and I know you all have out there. And you're saying, how do I get it out there? This is your answer.
Yes.
Funnels is your answer, Dwayne.
Yeah.
You jumped on board with this and decided, hey, I want to get involved. And how hard was it for you to learn how to use the software?
It wasn't hard at all because first of all, I was excited about what I saw it doing. So it was really easy for me to go back and learn. And what happens in the back office, they have videos of almost every single thing you want to do, step by step by step. So I probably spent, I don't know if I should say this, but I probably, in 1 week, I might have spent like 40-something hours between going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But once I got it once, I knew how to do it again.
Exactly.
And then it's just been easy.
But you're analytical, so if you,
Well, yes.
yes, that's
but
why.
you still got to know, like, that's the difference. In this system, it's drag and drop. It's just push and pop play. It's just pop a little picture here, put a little, a clip from YouTube there. And
Right.
Here's the thing. Everything is already set
Set
up
up.
for
Right.
you
Yeah.
in a template form.
Yep. You just
now
follow
it's
the
just
template.
about following the template, changing, editing, and the nice thing is that it's customizable.
Right.
So you are not trapped by the template.
Right.
If you want to take something out because you don't like it or it's unnecessary, you can do that. If you want to add another element,
Yep.
you can do that.
Change the
So
colors,
it's
whatever.
totally customizable. And what Dwayne is talking about is learning how to use the system
Right.
per se. Now, here's the thing. Maybe you've heard of these guys. Robert Kiyosaki,
Yep.
Rich Dad Poor Dad, Marcus Lemonis, The
Oh,
Prophet,
yes,
and the
love
CNBC program.
Yes.
Who's that other
Tony
guy?
Robbins.
Tony Robbins,
Robbins.
right? Multi-million dollar speaker and motivational speaker and coach. Well, guess what? they are using the same system that Dwayne and I are using. The same funnel system. In fact, Robert Kiyosaki, just 2 months ago, his team switched their whole business over to this
that'll tell
funnel
you
platform.
something.
Yeah, you know, and Tony Robbins, he did something really cool because he had his book that just came out, right? Cash Money Secrets or something. No, that's your website. But he had a
I love it.
.com.
Yeah, that's it. Spit them all out there.
No. But he had one about about money, and what he did was instead of selling it, he gave it away for shipping and handling.
Right. It's called a free plus shipping offer. And folks, what I'm here to tell you is that you can make money by giving things away. Oh my goodness, did he really say that?
Yes.
Yes, he did.
Yes, he did.
You can make money, but there's a way to do it. I'm
you
going
have
to
to
show you
follow the
how.
system.
Go ahead and give us the next slide. Because at the end of the day, what it means to be successful in a home-based business is what I told you at the top of this segment, is that success leaves clues. And if you mirror the people who are successful, you will be successful. You see that picture on the screen? He's got all this stuff going on in his head. And I know that's some of you. You're sitting there, it's keeping you up at night. If you were to write it down, you'd be writing a book. But the problem is you're saying, how do I get this stuff out of my head?
That's me.
How do I make it happen? And I'm telling you, the way to make it happen is to set up funnels. And funnels with every idea. Dwayne mentioned another. I've got probably 5 or 6 or 8. Altogether, I got like 17 funnels, okay? And at the end of the day, that's what's going to get me paid. Go to the next slide. So here's the part that you've all been waiting for.
Dun, 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 dun.
And Mike's going to make you wait just a little while longer. How many of you out there would like to test drive free funnels for the next 14 days?
All right.
Yes.
If you said that's me, go right now to easybusinessfunnels.com.
Yes.
easybusinessfunnels.com, and you can test drive free funnels. How many folks like free in here?
I do.
Come on now. Free funnels for the next 14 days. We will let you try it out. We will let you test it out. We'll let you see what it looks like, see what it feels like, see what it sounds like. Get a chance to see those high quality videos that Dwayne was telling you about so that you can know that, guess what? You can do this too. Folks, I have told you over the past few months how to get your business started. I have given you ideas where it does not cost you any money, not a dime. And here I am showing you now how to put it out into the universe, how to put it on the superhighway, how to put it on the internet. All right, let's break it down. On the internet, all right? That's how we say it in the hood, right?
All right.
If you have half a brain, you will say, William, I'm willing to do this. Now, if you don't have half a brain, I'm praying for you today. All right?
Put your hands on the radio. No,
But listen, this is the system that you need to make it happen for you. And if you go to easybusinessfunnels.com, you can try it out for 2 weeks. And with that, Tracy, I turn it over to you.
Woo! What an exciting segment. I told you we were going to bring it to you today. But everybody's going to be back. Everybody's welcome back because I want to hear some more success stories.
Indeed.
But we've got to wrap up our social health segment. I'm going to let you know that we'll be back next week with mental health. And between now and then, we want you to be safe, be smart, be healthy. Bye-bye.
Well, I wear my clothes like this because I can. And I wear my hair like this because I can. And I walk around like this because I can. And I do my thing like this because it's who I am. And if you expect me to give you an apology for being nothing that you're used to, go right on ahead, wait, hold your breath and concentrate. Keep holding till your bass turn blue. My road ain't your road, but just I'm just where I'm going. My flow ain't your flow, but just I'm just how I'm flowing. I'ma do my thing. Please feel free to hate and complain. I'ma do my thing. Say what you want, but this one ain't gonna change. I'ma do my thing. I can't wear my clothes like you because I'm not. I can't do my hair like you that means I'm off. When I dance to the beat of a drummer you don't hear and you can't see. So if I look off beat to you, well, the problem must be you, not me. Irregular but never irrelevant.